What if I told you that I could get through your front door without ever presenting a badge, without ever presenting a PIN code, without ever stepping foot close to your door? Well, that's what can happen with an off-the-shelf $79 gadget from the internet. It's called the ESPKey. And what the ESPKey will do is it will sniff Wiegand communication, and it will give you the ability to replay that information from the ESPKey to the controller. Do you still feel good about Wiegand communication? I hope not. So let's talk about that ESPKey. The way that this works is a bad person could take the ESPKey, they could walk up to one of your Wiegand readers, they could take the screw out of the bottom, pull the reader off the wall, and expose the wires. They're going to take a punch down tool that comes with the ESPKey, and they're going to punch down power, ground, data 1 and data 0, the green and the white wires. They're not cutting the wires, they're not splicing the right wires, they're just simply punching it down. From there, they shove the ESPKey back in the wall, and that ESPKey will broadcast an SSID or a Wi-Fi connection. Now you can log into this Wi-Fi connection, connect to it, and you can go to the default IP address of the ESPKey, and you can see a web interface. Now what this ESPKey is going to do is it's going to sniff all the badge data that comes across that reader, and it's going to store it locally. And then when I log into its web page, I can see it, and I can do a replay attack. People often say, Jeremy, I'm not exposed to this risk because I use card plus PIN. I require two-factor authentication at my highly sensitive areas where I have readers. And what I'll say to them is you're no more secure if using card plus PIN when using Wiegand communication, because it's all plain text, it's all zeros and ones that anybody can read, and that's how this ESPKey works. So even if you do have card and PIN set up for secure environments, I'm able to see your credential data and I'm able to see your PIN data. And I can do a full replay attack of both card number and PIN information. The PIN piece really scares me because if you think about the pins that people choose for access control, it's probably the same pin that they use to get into their garage door, and it's probably the same pin that they use to unlock their debit card. And that's really terrifying because a bad person can start collecting really sensitive personal information that they could use outside of the access control environment to really cause pain or havoc for somebody. The ESPKey also gives an option to do what's called a denial of service attack. What this denial of service attack allows a user to do, they can put the ESPKey into a special mode, and then the ESPKey will make it so normal badge or PIN data never makes it to the controller, so it's blocking that information. And if you think about areas where this could be really dangerous, if it's critical infrastructure and it's a room that has valves that can turn on or off certain components to protect an environment, if people can't access those locations when they need to, then a lot of harm could happen. If we think about maybe a healthcare situation in a pharmacy, if doctors or nurses can't access the medical equipment or the pharmaceuticals that they need to help patients survive, then that could cause a really big risk and a lot of problems. And all of this is possible through this $79 device. So now that I've scared all of you, what's the solution? Well, the solution is really pretty simple. It's OSDP, Open Supervised Device Protocol, in secure channel mode. And what secure channel with OSDP provides is encrypted communication between the reader and the controller. So all communication in transit is encrypted with AES 128, and bad actors can't steal that information, see that information in plain text, and they can't do replay attacks. In future episodes, we'll dive into configuration and best practices when it comes to setting up and deploying OSDP Secure Channel. But for now, I think it's important to just understand that Wiegand has major vulnerabilities. It's all in plain text, there's no encryption, and through simple tools like the ESPKey, people can sniff your data and people can replay that data and access locations that they shouldn't. I'll make one plea, and that's please stop using Wiegand. There's really no reason why you would ever use Wiegand anymore at this point. OSDP is supported really on every major manufacturer, from readers to controllers to access control software. That's the Mercury Minute. Stay open and stay secure, my friends. See y'all next time.